Good afternoon, and happy Monday to you. I'm Crystal L. Gunn, your financial strategist, and thank you for joining me for another office hours training. It's part of my job as a strategist, being on the business side or the personal side, is to help you to create a solid financial relationship, to heal and redefine your personal financial relationship so that it works for you. Or on the business side, to help you build a strong business base or foundation on which you can grow. I also help you have some aha moments, helping you to think beyond where you are, helping you to have some self-discovery moments, and helping you see the things that no longer serve you, the thoughts, the habits, the beliefs, so that you can release that and soar. And all of that helps with the breakthroughs. That's where you start to shift. That's where the magic happens, being in your personal finances or your overall business. So for the last few weeks, I have been talking about some bad money finance habits observed in us. And when I say us, I'm talking about Black folks. And so we think about healing and redefining our financial relationships. We got to peel back all of those layers, right? We have to look at those layers in order to break those generational curses so we can build new strategies for the generations that follow. So go back and watch those past episodes. Last week specifically, I touched on the importance of life insurance and overcoming historical, socioeconomic barriers and the generational impact. So remember, everyone has a financial relationship, and it wasn't defined by you. It was defined by what you inherited generationally. And I'm not talking about assets. It was defined by what you saw growing up, what you were told, what you overheard, what you weren't taught, what you were taught. And then as you went through life, what happened when you were in, high school, when you're trying to be a cool kid and bought all of the clothes? Who let you down in life? When did you have to become this individual, independent person where you relied on nobody else? What traumas happened? How your friends and family operate with money? What's important? What does society say? What you're supposed to have? And, you got to buy this, you got to drive that, you got to look a certain kind of way. And all of these things, and then, social media, commercials, all of these things creating this financial relationship for you, and it doesn't work for you and it doesn't serve you, right? And so when we think about leaving that legacy, everyone's leaving a legacy. And so the question becomes, what kind of legacy do you want to leave for the generations that follow you? Okay. So I told you on Thursday, all of August was going to be dedicated to life insurance because it's so very important. I am a licensed life insurance agent, and I see so many people underinsured, or I get so many calls after the fact about life insurance and not having it. And hold on, let me turn off or close my emails because this thing is going to keep dinging and it's going to bother me. Okay, so I get so many calls, so many questions about life insurance, wills, powers of attorney, all that. And it's usually always after the fact. So I try to do trainings around these topics, again, especially life insurance, because it's so important, right? And with it, there are many misconceptions, right? And so I want to dig into some of the misconceptions, possibly talk about why some of these misconceptions exist, and educate you a little on life insurance, showing you how affordable it can be, and we can connect, get you adequate coverage. So let's dig in, right? So today I want to talk about misconception number one, which is life insurance is expensive. So many people believe life insurance is expensive because they don't have accurate information, or they've encountered high quotes in the past, or they are listening to other people, right? Not an agent, but a friend, a coworker, a family member who got a quote, and it may have been expensive for them, right? Their quotes and thoughts on costs have nothing to do with you, right? So several factors influence the cost of life insurance: age, health, lifestyle, policy type, the amount of coverage you need. That cousin that you were talking to who said that it was too expensive, maybe 10 years older than you, maybe overweight with 3 health issues. So yeah, the price they receive may be more expensive to them, right? So cost, whether something is expensive or not, is truly a state of mind and the value someone sees in a thing, right? So how do you value a thing? So if you don't see any value in making sure your family is taken care of when you die, then yeah, a couple $100 a month in premium may be expensive to you. Or $75 a month in premium may be expensive for you, right? But where do you see the value? And then marketing and media can portray life insurance as a luxury item rather than a necessity, contributing more to this misconception. Life insurance is a necessity. And when I talk about getting your financial house in order, life insurance is an important part of that. Leaving your loved ones without your income. So you die, you will bring in, I don't know, $50,000, $100,000 into that house. Now that income is gone. What's going to happen to your family? Or trying to figure out how to pay for your funeral, right? So doing that, not having insurance and now taking away your income because you're no longer here, and having your family, when they're grieving the most, trying to figure out how to pay for your funeral, it's just irresponsible to do that. And so when you talk about you love your family, the least you can do is have adequate life insurance coverage, right? Part of that, and I talked about this a little bit in the last few weeks, again, this misconception or how it is that we don't value, we're so underinsured in our community. And it's, you can go back and you can look at the historical context. And I talked about that some last week, with part of it being when you look at from slavery, our labor being exploited, we didn't have access to we didn't get any money. So things like budgeting, savings, having access to financial planning, it wasn't in the cards for us, right? So somewhere we had to learn it. Not everybody did. Not everybody picked it up. Not everybody could see the value. So some of that is also coded in our DNA. And when I talk about that relationship, that financial relationship that wasn't defined by you, this is part of what I'm talking about, right? And so in order to understand why we operate the way that we operate, we do have to look at the historical context behind it. And again, that legacy, what type of legacy are we passing down? Are we just going to pass down another generation where we're not leaving them any money, where we're not, where we're making them pass the pot or getting a GoFundMe to bury us, where we, there is no, we talk about this generational wealth, but how are we passing that down? And so when we talk about the 2053 prediction of Blacks having zero wealth, getting your financial house in order is how we ensure this prediction doesn't become a reality. Year 2053, it's only 29 years away. And we see how fast time is flying, right? It's August. And I swear tomorrow it will be September. So we can't wait until 2050 to start working on our finances. We have to start today. And so we talk about building generational wealth. Well, life insurance is one of the tools that can help you to do so. We talk about breaking generational curses. So if the curse is going to stop with you, then the new systems of success must start with you. You have to get the tools in order to create those new systems of success and pass them down with that generational wealth. Okay. So, I always talk about my favorite things. And my favorite thing today, and just letting you know, for the entire month of August, it is going to be life insurance, right? Why? Because again, it's important. It's extremely, extremely important. So let's get to some next steps, because when I talk about getting your financial house in order, it's not something that you can do overnight. It's a lot, because a lot of people, the financial stuff is just not in order. Again, not beating up on you, but we don't know what we don't know. We don't know the questions that we need to ask. So I try to fill in and give you some information so that you have this information, so that you can get this stuff together, so that you can learn about it, so that you can get your financial house in order, and so that that prediction of 2053 doesn't impact your family. Okay. So it's a process. And I try to break things down. But again, we're talking specifically about life insurance in this month. So what are those next steps? The next step is complete the life insurance calculator to see how much coverage you should have, right? There are some people out there that have life insurance, and and thank you for that. But is the coverage that you have adequate? That is the most important thing, because sometimes you'll go to somebody and they just want to get you in a policy. They don't really ask you questions about lifestyle or how you want to live your life, what you want to leave to the next generation. If someone's not asking you all of those questions, then how can they really help you get your financial house in order? How can somebody help you to create an efficient and effective budget and they're not talking about how you want to live the rest of your life from this day forward? How can someone give you any information and suggestions on how much life insurance you should have without asking you, do you have a mortgage? Without asking you, do you have children? And then making sure that not only you are set up for success, but your family is set up for success too. So those children and your spouse, if you have a spouse, if you don't have a spouse and you have children and you have, if they're not asking you about what the two of you, even if you're no longer a couple, what are you doing to ensure that your children are taken care of? They're doing you a disservice. So all of those things matter, but you knowing initially before you even go into those type of consultations is how much coverage based off today you should actually need. So there's a life insurance calculator link in the description. Click on that. It asks you either 3 or 4 questions. Once you do those, it's going to tell you how much coverage you need. Then you get with me, schedule that free consultation, and let's discuss those options. So it might not be that type of coverage in one policy. We may be able to break it down and say, okay, well, it asked you if you had a mortgage, and you definitely had a mortgage. So you may not want just one policy. We may want a term policy to cover that mortgage, which I do a lot of because it's specific for paying that mortgage. And then we may get you into some sort of permanent policy that's building some cash value and has an increasing death benefit. So all of those things winds up being a discussion, but it starts with you understanding and knowing how much coverage, again, for today you actually need. And then from there, we can fill the gaps in the coverage and get your children insured as well. Because that's, like, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I said, you know what? There's no bank account or regular savings account or certificate of deposit where you can put, I don't know, $25, to $150 in per month and have, your kid by the time they're 32 having 17,000 to 50,000 sitting in there for them to use. So again, when we talk about passing down that generational wealth, there's tools out there in order to be able to do that, and life insurance is one of those tools. And we always think that we have more time. I have people who sit in workshops or people that I just talk to, and I'm doing quotes, and I'm like, how and I always ask, well, how is it that you did not have any life insurance at all? And it's some form of the same answer. I didn't know enough about it, or I just thought I had more time, right? So the trouble is, you think that you have time and you don't. And I'm not saying, and I've even heard some people say, well, if I get life insurance, then I am saying, okay, well, I'm setting myself up to die or something like that, right? I'm like, everybody has an expiration date. Like, everybody. You're not going to escape this thing without transitioning into the spirit realm. You're just not. So being able to look at it as a tool is really, 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 really important. So if this information has been helpful, subscribe to my channel and be sure to turn notifications on so that you don't miss a thing. Another thing, please share this channel with someone else. You never know what someone else needs, what someone else is going through. They may be looking for this thing. Share the information. Don't be the gatekeeper. Again, we need everybody to have this information, right? Because again, if we want to stop this 2053 prediction, we need to do the things that we need to do in order to get our financial houses in order. Also, if you are in need of personal business strategy, let's talk about it. The links for scheduling consultations for that as well in the description. Again, a reminder, the link for the life insurance calculator is in the description. The link for the life insurance consultation is always in the description. You want to make sure that if you're scheduling a consultation with me, that you're clicking on the right link, because it will ask you some questions so that I'm better prepared for that meeting with you, right? And as always, always give yourself some grace. You don't know what you don't know. Your financial relationship was defined outside of you, right? And so as you go and you start to redefine it and heal it, it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But the knowledge that you get, the knowledge that you gain, the things that you learn, it's imperative that you pull your kids in. I don't care if they're 2 or 42. It's imperative that you pull your kids in. Listen, do not yourself try to educate them, because you ain't got it all right, right? Some of this stuff is very, very new to you. Get them here, right? Let's get them educated. And sometimes, let's just be clear, sometimes kids don't listen to their parents, right? You could be telling them the exact same thing that I'm telling them, and they're not listening to you. So always give yourself some grace. Keep striving for your next level and for the next level of your family. Never give up on you. Never give up on your family. Invest in you. I can't stress this enough. Invest in you. We have to stop looking at things like life insurance, the premium, as an expense, and looking at it as an investment, because you are worthy of the investment. So invest in you always. I promise you, it's the best investment that you will ever make, and you will not regret it. Again, happy Monday to you. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you on the other side.